order. And I'm going to put up the agenda, let you guys be looking at it, but in the meantime, I'll ask Councilman Weston to at least send the invocation.
Sure, let us pray. Dear God, just thank you for the opportunity, as always, to meet tonight, God. Thank you, Lord, just the beautiful weather we've been having, God. During this time, I thank you for the rain. And God, I ask you, Lord, just let our city just thrive during this time of year. There's a lot of events planned, God. I ask you, Lord, just let them be well attended and just fun for everybody involved. Lord, I thank you for the people that just that make the city go on a day-to-day basis. God, I thank you, Lord, for the people that protect it and just protect our homes and our people. God, I ask you, Lord, just to be with the meeting tonight and be with the things discussed, be for the benefit of those that are in the city and visit it on a day-to-day basis. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. If you'll stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, and while you continue to look over the agenda, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Lilly. Here. Mizell. Here. Weston.
Here.
King. Here. Phillips.
Here.
Mayor Mitchell.
Here. Okay, one last look at the agenda. And as usual, the first item on the agenda is the consent agenda, and that's approval of the minutes of actually not this week, but last week's last regular council meeting, which was the 2nd of May. So the council's received a copy of the minutes. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? If not, let the record show the minutes were approved by unanimous consent. And we'll start with department head reports, and we'll have the police department first.
So as you see, everything's going well. Still just one on the job injury, which is still Mike Peppers, kind of week by week with him. On course, our budget, still got 2 positions open. All vehicles are good, equipment's good. Training continues for 2023. Issues and concerns are ballparks. Patrols will increase. We're getting lots of complaints of people driving up on the sidewalk. I think they had a major rainstorm Thursday night, and several people actually drove up to the concession stand to pick people up. We really got to do something out there, either put up something or make something happen. Served 2 more drug warrants for distribution of meth over on Old Highway 25 West. That subject is in jail, and maybe he'll stay for a little while. Besides that, taking applications for police officers to fill those last 2 positions. That's about it.
Okay, so you've indicated that you had an interview that was successful.
Yes.
Did you extend an offer to that
Have not yet.
candidate?
Have not yet.
Do you intend to?
Yes. And
Is that one of the 2 positions?
yes. I'm trying to think, because we've had so many people.
There's been
Yes, it
some
should
turnover
be.
line, so I was
Should be.
curious.
Yeah, it should be one of those positions. And interviewed another early this morning. Nice young man. I'm not going to get into the details, but he was really sharp. We were really pleased with the interview with him, and we're just going to kind of see how that goes. He's with another department right now, and if we were to acquire him, we'd have to look at possibly buying out his contract. And so we're just waiting to see what happens.
Okay.
So we've had some officers take other positions, turnover-wise, or just...
Well, we had 1 pass.
Yes.
We had one of our academy guys resigned. That opened up 2. And then we've got 1 that's still out that is more than likely going to end up retiring before he comes back to duty. So those are the ones.
Those guys with the academy, is that Grant's involved with that, right? So if he resigned, can you put somebody else in the...
Yes.
Okay. That's good.
So
There's no additional grant funding though, so what we spent for the academy on the first one, we'll just have to make that up.
Right. Yep. Officer Doug, he graduates June 6th. He'll come out of the academy. He's actually been coming in and working Fridays. He goes 4 days a week to the academy. He comes in on his own, works Fridays to kind of speed up the FTO process. So when he does graduate, he'll probably be with an FTO for about 4 weeks before we put him on a shift.
Okay.
And then he'll still be able to supervise, he's not gonna be by himself.
Okay.
Any other questions for the chief? All right, admin.
Everything's going good in admin. Budget looks good, fully staffed, training is up to date. Myself and Francis, which is the assistant city clerk, attended clerk's training, May 3rd through 5th, but we did that online, and that went well. At the bottom is the first section with the highlight is general fund, and then the bottom section is all other funds. So our year-to-date revenues and expenses are looking good.
Yeah, our surplus actually increased month over month a little bit, so we'll see how that goes. Any questions for the clerk? Municipal court?
Everything's going well with court. Of course, we're fully staffed, up to date on training. So really nothing new. We've held our second defensive driving course in May. It seems to be going well.
Good.
So next one will be June 14th. The next court's May 23rd.
How many people are in the driving course?
It's averaging right about 9. 'Cause we'll schedule for 10, and then, people will call, they got held over at work, or, so we reschedule for the following month, so.
That's good.
I assume the alternative is losing points on their record, is that okay?
So,
Okay. Any questions for the magistrate? Okay, thank you. Public Works?
All right, everything's going pretty good. Right now, we're busy cutting grass and picking up brush after we've had some of these winds and stuff like we did today. We just got it all cleaned up, and I'm sure there's gonna be a pile of it back out there after this evening. Other than that, both trucks are still back up and running and everything out on routes and stuff. Right, the only thing we got really going on is, right now, we bid it out on the old shop and stuff, and the bid that we got from Wayne Davis Construction come in a whole lot higher than what we was anticipating, but we went back and decided we'd break it apart and bid out different jobs and stuff, and we found out last night by the city attorney that we can negotiate, since we did not ever award the bid or nothing, with them and everything, so right now, we're in the process of getting all that redone and submitted to them and getting them to sign it, and then once they get it, then it'll be brought here, and the mayor and y'all have to go through it and okay for the mayor to sign it and everything, and that bid there's about $100 and something thousand, and that's putting a new top, new side, and new insulation and all that, and we're gonna break the grade now and let somebody bid on it. The other thing is Center Street. We back just doing a change order with Central Alabama paving and stuff and everything. Right now, the holdup we got going on up there is that a mixing machine is gonna mix this material up that they're gonna use to fix it with. And I didn't hear nothing back from them today when I called to find out something. He was trying to run one of them down to see when we was getting it. We hope we've got it paid before the end of May. That's what we want. Then like I said the last time, we're redoing the storm drain down Johnson Street because there's nothing there. But other than that, everything's going fine.
So I assume that we're able to negotiate because we had only one bidder.
Mhm.
If we'd had more than one.
The other thing too, in case y'all get any phone calls, the trolley or the little bus is going in the shop Friday to repair the wheelchair ramp on it. And I don't know, it may be over a day, it may be 2 or 3 days.
Does the senior center have any planned uses for theirs that we could?
That is going actually to the shop as well because there's a recall on the gas tank. And so they have to replace the gas tank.
Okay. So what we need to do is we need to figure out how to let all those who
I told Wanda today and everything, so she's supposed to be letting them know, and I think she's coming in and seen Vicky today. everything what she could tell her, since that's where a lot of our riders is coming from, Shelby Wood.
Well, before you sit down, this is not your area of responsibility, but it kind of is. The repaving around the manhole cover on,
Goodwin Street and 25,
yeah.
I called Dale this
Now,
morning.
they came back today and but I'd like for you to look at it. I still don't think they did a
Well,
very good
they're
job.
gonna come back and redo it. They just done that trying to it settles on out, 'cause I talked to Dale today.
So that's not the final.
No, they're gonna come back and have to saw cut it out and get it back to what we require to be done.
Excellent. Okay. Any other questions for,
I do have a question. You sit down now, you don't understand that. I had a question. They're doing this work up here at the high school, right? And I mean, there's been a lot of gravel sitting on those sidewalks and a lot of concrete. At one point, there was a dry concrete on the parking lot of the rec building. There's just a lot of stuff over
They'll
there.
have to clean all that
Okay.
up.
Okay. Because I know I think there's some holes in that asphalt that's gotten bigger simply because they're driving a lot of trucks through there.
Some stuff and put it, fix
Yeah.
it.
But I was just curious about that, so obviously that
They
will.
was cleaning some of it up last Friday. They was sweeping the gravel up out the parking lot and everything.
I don't assume they're finished with that project yet.
No,
No, they still like this end on the steps, I know, going up the bleachers, and they still got to put handrails up.
I have a question, and you may not, about the parking lot, and you may not know the answer to this. But Shelby County GIS says that parking lot belongs to the state of Alabama.
That's the only thing the city owns. We own the tennis court and half the rec building. Half the rec building and the asphalt parking lot belongs to the state of Alabama, then the city owns the grassy area.
How did that happen? Does anybody know?
Ask me, you go on across the road, the Shelby County Board of Education don't own, part of Evan Hill School is owned by the state of Alabama. Shelby don't ask me how it got like that, but
I'm gonna ask our state representative, see if he can't fix that for us, so.
Somebody got
I
all
said,
there.
maybe they need to fix their half of it up.
Yeah, well, I have, I don't hold out great promise of getting the Alabama Department of
But yeah, I
Transportation to
looked it
pave
up.
anything.
I've looked it up and I don't know how that's happened.
All right, I say that in jest. Okay. Any other questions for Alan?
Actually, I do. Do you have any new applicants or any that are filing, or are you just sitting there when nobody applying now for your?
We've had
Positions.
one applicant, me and Charlene met with him last Friday, or Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday morning. He just, we said for him, like,
Okay.
You guys graduating? Looking for a job? Alan's got several for you.
Not without.
Okay, any other questions? All right, we'll move on. Board reports, planning commission met
Last
last
night,
night.
you wanna do it?
Go ahead, I'll let you.
So, last night we had a public hearing to rezone property at 21066 Highway 25, from B1 to B2. That's the old cornhole property, kinda next to Napa. They have a, used car lot now, and they wanna be able to do mechanic work. So that was approved, so it'll come to council, the second meeting in June for another public hearing and vote. Then we approved 2 applications of rezoning. One was 21421 Highway 25. And that property owner, oh, that's the old wood yard. He emailed us today and said he would like that to go to B2. The other one is just some vacant property on Highway 25. The property owner wants that to go from R1 to M2. Both of those applications were approved, and then we'll have public hearings at planning and zoning for both of those in June. If those are approved, they'll come to council in July. And that's all we did last night.
Any questions? Okay, did the record board?
We did. I got a few things to share. Ashley, jump in if you need to. So we talked about, if you can remember, about a year or so ago, or maybe going on 2 years ago, we got that park and rec grant from the county. And we didn't spend all those funds just because we couldn't find any people to do the work at the time. Well, if you can remember, we got bids or estimates to do that work, complete it, and Charlene submitted that to the county. Well, I think through some channels, there was some confusion on that side as to what was been spent, what hadn't been spent, or whatever. But the county got back to Charlene, and there's $13,606 left in that grant fund. So I talked to Charlene, so that'll cover a portion of what we need to be done there. So 13,606 is what left in the grant fund. With additional $3,600, we'll finish everything we need to do at the dugout portion of that. I talked to Charlene, and she feels like there's some money that we put aside in the budget for the capital expense for Park and Rec that's not going to be used for this year, that we can devote to that money, to that project to complete it. The only thing that would not be included in this project will be that perimeter fence, because that was around $17,500. So I wanted to bring that to the council and make sure everybody's on board with that. I think it's important to finish that project and be done with it. So if, like I said, $3,600, we'll complete it on the city side, and the grant will cover the rest of it. So, I mean, if there's no heartburn with that, we're going to start tomorrow and get back with those people to make sure those estimates are still good, and hopefully get that on the books June 1 to be done with it.
Any questions from anyone or discussion with Ricky regarding that?
Well, they need to be done. We've had many cities, different cities with the league expanding, coming in, and they look awful, the roofs. It's kind of embarrassing, to tell you the truth.
Well, if there's a budgeted line item that has funds in it, an appropriate line item, I'm all.
Yeah. So Charlene and Al, I work with you, or we can work together and see where that money's going to come from.
And the outer fence can be done later.
Yeah.
But the dugout is needed.
The other thing we talked about a few times, was just speed bumps, and I mentioned to the group that maybe if we've got any money left over at the end of this year, Al, or maybe the first of next year, we can put some money towards getting some speed bumps down here in front of the softball field, if that's how we want to head. I know we talked about it last time, but I just think that's a need or something. They're putting cones down there, but it's still not suppressing a lot of that traffic down there. So if we can do something there, I think it'd be beneficial. The chief mentioned the traffic. The traffic at the ballpark on a good day has gotten better, but as he mentioned the other night, it's just like ants in a anthill. When it starts raining, people just lose their minds. The other thing about that is too, y'all did a good job by suppressing a lot of that traffic there, so I commend you for that. It's just we talked about this last night too. We're just out of space up there parking wise. That's just the reality of it. Even on a fairly busy night, I mean, people are parking on the curb, and it is what it is. I mean, in an extremely busy night, they're parking down the McDowell Road. So it's just, we're out of space. There's nothing left to do there. But we talked about if the city ever wants to expand that, to maybe utilize that acreage we got on the backside of that playground, to maybe cut an access road back there and maybe make it like a gravel lot. Just something to think about.
I think it's a hole, isn't it?
Is it? Oh, is it? Okay.
It's not a level piece of ground. It would have to be filled in.
Well, that cuts that out.
I did a lot of filling in. It's probably 10 foot off the backside of what we just bought.
Yep. So, but anyway, that's just something we need to. I don't know that there's.
We can look and see if there's any space back there. Then they probably have to get to it by driving on the track. So.
Well, yeah, it would have to. Yeah, it would have to be an access road to get back there, but it doesn't have to be anything fancy. If it was flat, it could be gravel. But it is what it is, and they're just.
We could use that pond out there, we're past the retention pond that was cleaned off at one time to put. That's where they was talking about putting the fire station.
Mm-hmm.
It's already got a road cut in it. You get it cleaned up and put gravel out on it.
Yeah.
We'll look at that. I believe there's some space. I don't know how much. We'll take a look.
And I mean, I just think it's a good problem, but it's just when it's a full part. I mean, it can be lined up down McDowell Road, and I mean that's an issue too, because it's a log jam getting off McDowell Road on the Highway 70 out there, and it's just.
That's just using 3 fields in a night.
Yeah.
I mean, just think if the big field's used.
Yeah.
So there'll be more people.
And we don't ask the DOT for a traffic light out there, because we know that answer. But anyway, that's that.
You
I
talking
think-
about the traffic going up there, do you want me to look and get a gate built to put up there?
I think we need to do something, either if it's a gate or something to where it could, you know, they put those big concrete things in a hole to where they can just be pulled out if an emergency vehicle comes up there or something. I think that's the kicker. If an emergency vehicle comes up there, they need to have access to get in there.
I thought we had those when it was built.
The only disadvantage in there is somebody, if you don't keep them holes cleaned out, and once you set the pipe down, then eventually you've got a mess there with a gate.
Yep.
Built like the state puts on theirs and stuff, somebody can have a key to unlock it.
But I do think something needs to be put up there and I think it needs to be put in a position where a car can't get around it or whatever else. Because it's a big liability, especially when it's pouring down rain and popping lightning and people driving up the concession stand like it's a drive-through.
I'll get a price on it and just
Yeah.
see what it gave it cost.
Did you put a hasp on the restroom doors? Lock, hasp and lock?
No, we hadn't yet, I'm not, cause they got locks on them, I got the lock box in to put the keys inside the concession stand.
The other thing to that, I think, you know, the mayor's talked about it a minute, that I think that we talked about last night, is I think we need to look at just spending some funds up there next year just on revitalizing some sinks, maybe some bigger commercial style toilets. I know the park up there needs a new gutter system. So just, I know we spend a lot of money, a lot of time down here. I think it's time to devote some funds over there, maybe a little bit, just to refurbish some things, but we can talk about it at a later date. But
Yeah.
But anyway, that's actually, you got anything to add?
You covered it.
So
One last thing about speed bumps. Too, we had ordered something.
I just have got them in, they've been all over the world.
Okay, well traveled then. And so we should have an idea of the cost of speed bumps
Yeah,
for.
I forgot what we paid to pay for them. The only thing we'll have to check into, that one time the state changed the law that you can't put them across a public road because of damaging people's car, although you're gonna have to sign it. You go back to county, used to put them rumble strips at four-way intersections. When you went across them, when you just supposed, but they made them take them out because people was complaining it was damaging their cars.
Well, if it were a state road, the state, I would think, could do what they wanted. There are neighborhoods all over the place that have.
Inside a neighborhood you can, because that is considered a private neighborhood. They changed some of it.
All right, we'll look into that. I'm not, I'll tilt at that windmill.
We just need to make sure before we go down there and put them up, because
I
somebody comes
understand,
down through that.
understand.
we just need to slow down.
That's a drag strip.
It is. So,
Okay, any other comments from Recreation Board? Okay. Water Board?
We just had a regular business meeting and looked at some applications and stuff.
Any other board meetings that I'm not aware of? Okay. All right, so what we want to do now is recognize the high school senior physics class for their work at Kiwanis Park. I think we got Coach Perkins and some of the class here, so if you guys would come up here. I want to present this certificate. I wish we had some photographs. The class came up with a plan on some improvements they wanted to make to the park. They presented that to me. I went to the school one day and we talked about it. And they've worked with Alan and the Public Works Department and have done some great work. So what I wanted to do is present this certificate. And I tell you what, why don't we get right here, and Alan, you can take us a picture. Coach, if a couple of you could come over here, Coach, and we'll do the certificate. Basically, a certificate of appreciation awarded to the SCHS senior physics class for participating in the City of Columbiana Kiwanis Park project, awarded the 16th day of May, 2023. So here you go. Thank you. Here we go. Everybody say cheese when she says it. All right, great. Well, I appreciate it, Coach. Now, since most of the guys didn't show up tonight. We've got certificates for the class. Who's here? This is Brooks. Roberts. Oh,
They're in alphabetical order.
I am good. Turned right to it. Brooks, appreciate it. Congratulations. And who's Walker Kellis? Okay. And I had to put up with Kellis last night at the, next one, Dennis. All right.
Thanks, sir.
You betcha. Good to see you.
Next one up is Dennis and Justice.
Justin. Those guys like too, so. Thank you, appreciate it.
Tanner Stoddard.
All right, now towards the back, Andrew. Tanner, appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys. And I'll let you, pass these out. And we really do appreciate it. And that is obviously suitable for framing or something, so you guys can put that up in the school, I hope. So the only thing I'd like to add is that, civic responsibility is a big deal. And in small communities like Columbiana, we need all the help that we can get. So it's appreciated when folks want to step up and volunteer like that. And so we thank you, and I think there'll be a lot of people get a lot of good use out of what we've done. So thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we move forward, I think we're sort of in some royalty tonight, so a couple things. These guys, all of them, I saw them yesterday at Senior Awards Day. You got the valedictorian here, you got the salutatorian here, you got Walker getting scholarship money, you got Brooks getting scholarship money, all going to Auburn, so.
War Eagle.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Congratulations to them.
Unfortunately, they won't let me pull any strings for you down there. I don't quite have enough clout. Got to give them more money than I'm giving
I
them.
think Brooks is going in a Bama fan, but he'll come to Auburn.
Well, it happens. And I would say it probably happened to me. Okay. So the next item on the agenda is an ordinance to annex property at 3940 Chelsea Road. Now, just so you'll see where that's at. This is Chelsea Road. This is Columbiana city limits, Chelsea city limits, and it's this little piece of property right there, and you've got it in your packets as well. And so there was a petition by the property owner. Let me grab that. So Bobby Stallings petitioned the city for annexation. And so what our task is to pass this ordinance. Is there any discussion about the proposed annexation before we move on?
Whereabouts is it on 47? Visually, I know that's.
All right, let me go to the next
Before
one.
you get to 446.
Yeah, that's 446 right there. Okay. And it's just, as you can see, it's just absolutely right outside the northernmost portion of our city limits, but it is contiguous to the city limits. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, if not, is there a motion to adopt ordinance 52302?
I'll make that motion. We adopt ordinance 052302. It's annexing property. Am I reading?
The top, 3940 Chelsea Road.
3940 Chelsea Road. Sorry.
Second.
Okay, and clerk, would you do a roll call, please?
Councilmember Lilly? Yes. Mizell?
Yes.
Rustin?
Yes.
King? Yes. Phillips?
Yes.
Mayor Mitchell?
Yes. Okay, so the ordinance is adopted by unanimous consent of the council. This resolution, and I don't think I put in a picture of this, I wish I had, is for a sewer crossing force main to bore underneath the Norfolk Southern Railroad crossing. This is basically where the railroad track passes between the lagoon at the sewage treatment plant and the county maintenance shop. And it has to go underneath there because of the new subdivisions on Highway 70 and the demand. There's a 4-inch pipe there, and it needs to be increased to 8 inches. And then it goes from the lift station, which is actually, it's a city's lift station, but it's on that county shop property. And then it goes underneath the railroad track to the lagoon and into the sewage treatment plant. So that's the purpose of this. Contract for the bore is $150,000. And so the resolution will allow me to sign the contract for that service. Any questions on that?
I'll make a motion, we accept resolution 052303, so award of the bid Norfolk Railroad Crossing Sewer Force Main Bore.
I'll second.
Okay, if you do a roll call again, please.
Councilmember Lilly? Yes. Mizell?
Yes.
Rustin?
Yes.
King? Yes. Phillips?
Yes.
Mayor Mitchell?
Yes. Okay, so the resolution passes, okay? All right, Mayor's report. Last week was the League of Municipalities annual convention. It was in Birmingham, which was good. We didn't have to, travel and incur hotel expenses and stuff like that, although it was a little bit of a nuisance driving back and forth. But it was a good convention. As always, there's at these things, there's stuff that's not very worthwhile and a little dead time, and then there's a lot of good time. And the best time is for me, the most valuable is the networking with representatives from other municipalities in Alabama. We had a great discussion as far as ask your attorneys with the League of Municipalities legal staff, and then we had some really good breakout sessions where we have workshops with participants from other cities. So I thought all in all it was one of the better conventions that I've been to. This is National Police Week, and the chief has walked out. So what I would like to do is thank all of the men and women of the Columbiana Police Department and the men and women of police departments all over the nation. It is a thankless job. And many times it can be a dangerous job. And so we just can't thank them enough for keeping us safe. And I think you got a little basket there
We
from
got a gift
someone.
basket from,
Beautification.
From the beautification board. So great. I'm glad that you were recognized. And notice that the popcorn is skinny pop. Don't read anything into that. Okay.
you fit.
All right.
I figured there'd be like a flower or a shrub or something in there.
But again, we do appreciate everything that you guys do, and I want the entire department to know that. On the 23rd of May, I'll be at the Shelby County Mayors Association meeting. I think it's in Pelham. It's in Chelsea this quarter. And then I want everybody to make sure that they recognize that Memorial Day is 29th of May. I'm going to shamelessly plug the monthly mayor's video. I dedicated it to Memorial Day, but one of the things that I wanted to do, there was an individual on there, Captain Steve Phyllis, that I served with that was shot down and killed during the Desert Storm. And there is an initiative afoot. Steve was awarded the Silver Star for heroism, and there's an initiative some 32 years later to upgrade his Silver Star to a Medal of Honor. And I'm a big supporter of that. You can see Steve's story on that Mayor's Monthly video. And there's some website, the initiative is being led by Brigadier General Boots Demarest, who is a Brigadier General with the Florida Air National Guard. And he's leading the initiative. They've just basically completed the submission package requesting the upgrade. It will be submitted by the congressional delegation from Steve's hometown, which is Rock Island, Illinois. But we need to get as much support as we can. Right our congressional delegation. I plan to write our senators and congressmen because I think he's well deserving. And then again, just everybody, remember Memorial Day. So that's all I got unless there's any questions. Announcements.
All right, so May 23rd is Shelby County High School graduation. It says the 24th, and I picked the wrong number. The 29th is Memorial Day, and the city offices will be closed. Upcoming Liberty Day deadlines. This Friday is the deadline for the Liberty Day pageant, and the 26th is the vendor deadline for vendor registration for Liberty Day. I'm not sure we'll make it to the 26th for vendors, but that is the deadline as of now. So,
We won't make it in that you'll have too many.
and then we'll have too many. So,
It's a good problem to have.
yeah, it's a great problem to have. So, Music on Main and the Farmers Market is scheduled for every Friday night in June. June the 2nd is the Goat Hill String Band. June the 9th is the Stepdads. June 16th is the Cash Domino Killers. The 23rd is Liberty Day, and that's Big City Rhythm. And then June 30th is Liz and the Grand Tour. So it should be a really good lineup for Music on Main. I'm excited.
Remind me again, okay, is the music still gonna be on Main Street, but the farmer market's gonna be in O'Neill,
The Farmers
right?
Market will be on Main Street,
Oh.
and music will be on Main Street. So
Okay.
everything will happen on South Main Street.
Okay.
Should be a poppin' place.
Should be a fun place. It'll be a lot of fun.
Any questions for Ally?
Are we having another, cleanup day for the city?
Yes,
For Liberty Day?
that
Yes.
is the Saturday before Liberty Day.
Two Saturdays before in case it rains, then we can do it the
Okay,
Saturday before.
So that's the 10th.
We'll subtract
10th,
14.
17th.
Well, if the 9th is a Friday,
Yes.
and that's the 10th, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The 10th
Yes.
and the
So the
17th.
10th or the
And
17th.
17th is back up.
Okay, so we expect all the graduates in their caps and gowns to watch Big City Rhythm on
Absolutely.
Friday night.
Y'all should be back just in time for the Goat Hill String Band, which I'm really excited about.
Okay. Any questions or comments from anyone in the public? All right. If there are none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.